patch and other tools. Hi guys, we continue to get acquainted with various tools, and today we are going to talk about the patch tool and several other similar tools. This is a very simple tool with few settings, and so we'll immediately begin to study it in practice. So I take the patch tool, and now we'll see how it works. For example, I would like to remove these frames from the interior. I just circle them with a patch tool. That's it. I have a selected area. Please note that I have the source option at the top of the settings. Now I simply drag the entire selected area to the part of the image that I would like to replace these frames with and release the mouse button. And look, the software automatically fills in this area in such a way that we don't see any joints at all. After that, you can remove the selection, and that's what happened. But you can go from the opposite. For example, I would like to multiply these lamps. I choose destination in this case and select the lamp. That's how it is, and drag it to the place I need. I already have 2 lamps. And now I have 3 lamps. 4. And every time. Notice, the patch adapts to the background in such a way that everything looks absolutely natural. That's what we ended up with. The disadvantage of this tool is that it cannot work on a new layer. Therefore, the changes made with it, unfortunately, are quite difficult to fix, or rather can't be fixed at all. Only if you go back through the history or using a keyboard shortcut Ctrl+Z, which is not very convenient. Let's look at another example of using this tool. And here we'll use it to try to remove wrinkles, since we need to remove and not to multiply something that we have selected. We choose the source. Then we select the area of wrinkles and drag it to the area where there aren't any. And look how wonderfully it cleaned up here. Deselect it. See? The same can be done here. Dragging. And I would also probably improve the skin on the neck a little. Let's select this piece here. It doesn't look quite perfect, and we'll drag it here. And look how well everything looks. The same can be done with other wrinkles and effects of the face. But again, the disadvantage of this tool is that we can work with it only on the main layer, and we cannot, for example, increase opacity. We cannot change something. But still, in some cases, when we need to do something quickly and we are sure of what we want to get in general, we can use this tool. That's it. I will make a few more small corrections. Well, that's what we got as a result. Probably it would be possible to work with wrinkles around the eyes. But it seems to me that if it is removed with this tool, then the face will look too plastic and doll-like. I want to leave it on the face. Just make them less pronounced. And it would probably be better to do this with the help of a tool called a healing brush tool, which we have already talked about. But if you want to use the patch tool, then you can apply one trick here. I am duplicating the layer. We go to the area around the eyes, select wrinkles, dragging. That's how it cleaned up. So, well, we can probably remove them a little more here. So, do the same with the second eye. So, that's what we got. And now, edit opacity and make wrinkles slightly visible on this layer that we have created. Because even a young man, when he smiles, has small wrinkles in the corners of his eyes. And this is how we can adjust the depth of wrinkles and make them look as we want. Let's see what we had in the beginning. I will go to the history panel. All our actions. Take a look at what we had at the very beginning and what we have now. And we continue to study the tools of this group and move on to the next tool. The next tool is called Content Aware Move. Let's see how it works. For example, I would like to expand the area of this image and edit another rack on the left. What can we do? First of all, we of course take familiar crop tool, and when the main layer is unblocked, we edit a small space, like that. Now we take a tool, a rectangular selection, and select a piece with a rack. Well, that's how it is. Now we move on to the Content Aware Move tool and drag this piece to the free area. So we put everything out exactly so that our skirting board matches, so that we don't have any joints. Fix it. And look, if we just copying and moving, This area would clearly look different from everything else. But now we'll press Enter. And in this case, everything will just adjust it as needed. The operation is working. And we remove selection. And look how well we did it. I again selected a little carelessly. So I had this fragment, but let's just cut it with the crop tool. That is, I'm cutting a little here and a little there. And this is the result. I'm a little confused by the transition. So I'll return again to the patch tool. We choose a source, select this piece, which is not properly fitted, and we do this and remove the selection, Ctrl+D. That's all. Moving on. The following tool removes the red eye effect. Perhaps you remember that there was a period when such an effect occurred on photos, and maybe you have such photos and would like to fix them. That's what we need this tool for. It's called Red Eye Tool, and it works simply. Well, it's just very simple. You point it at the red eyeball and just click. That's how easy it is to fix your old photos. The settings of this tool are so simple, obvious and intuitive that we won't even talk about them. We just move on to the homework. The first task will be to create such a picture from the original illustration, which you have seen in the beginning of the lesson. The second task is to retouch this portrait using the patch tool. The third task is to edit a rag and make the photo more elongated horizontally. Well, the fourth task is to remove the red eye effect. And that's all for today. It was Peter Romanov and AIM School. See you next time.